Remember, this is the channel where we not only love to cook, but we cook to love. And today we're going to love canned green beans. And I'm going to share with you a recipe that's one of my family favorites. And I think once you try this recipe, it will become one of your families for years and years to come. So this is a really simple recipe. And we're going to render down this bacon a little bit just to get some of the fat out of it. And then we're going to have 1 piece of bacon per can of green beans. Now, how many servings will this be? After we cook it down, it's going to be about 2 servings per can. I found in our home, if we're serving 4 people, I always try to double it because I know the green beans are going to go quickly. So this is heating up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and throw our bacon in here on a medium heat. You can hear that sizzle. We don't want to get it too hot. We're just going to render out a little bit of the fat because we want that fat in our green beans here. And again, don't stir this around a lot, just let that render out a little bit. Then we're going to pull it out and put it on a pan, and then we're going to use it again. Now let me tell you a little secret about this recipe. You can add all sorts of things to it. You can just use the bacon, and that's it. It's perfectly fine. You may want to add chicken base, and that's exactly what I do. For my salt content, rather than using salt, I'll use chicken base because it kicks that flavor up just a little bit. And then you can even use chopped onion. Well, someone says, well, I don't really want to have chopped onion in my green beans, but I want that onion flavor. Well, as you're rendering down the bacon, go ahead and take you an onion that's cut maybe in half, and just go ahead and throw it in there whole and let it just kind of cook in the bottom of that pan. And that's going to help us. We're going to leave it in there when we cook these green beans, and that's going to give us a little bit of onion flavor without having the chopped onions in our green beans. So let's let that render down a minute, and then we'll cook our green beans. The smell of bacon and onions, what a heavenly culinary aroma that is. So I've rendered out some of the fat. I haven't completely cooked this bacon. I'm going to shake it off here, put it over here on a plate. And now we're going to add our green beans. Now these are unsalted green beans, and that's kind of important to this recipe. If you have salted green beans, remember when you put the chicken base or any other kind of seasoning in it, you need to adjust accordingly if there's salt in that seasoning. So down on the bottom of this pan here, I have bacon fat, I have an onion, and I'm going to pour these green beans very carefully right on top. And that, folks, that's just almost the entire recipe. You say, well, that's pretty simple. Well, it is very simple, but it's so, so delicious. Now we're going to come over here and add a little chicken base. I'm going to add about not quite a teaspoon per can. We can always add 2, we can't take away. Stir that in around the top and let it, it's going to dissolve. Well, I forgot the most important thing. We're going to take the bacon, which is partially cooked. We've rendered out a little bit of fat, and we're going to put it right on top here. You're going to be tempted to take a spoon like this and stir these beans. Do not do that, because after time, especially once they come to a boil, it's going to break them down. And we're going to kick the heat up a little bit, and we're going to bring these to a rolling boil, but we're not going to stir them at all. Do not put a lid on these, because we want, the purpose of this recipe, we're going to cook out all the moisture, most of the moisture in these beans. And then don't over season. Remember, you can always add a little bit of chicken base or salt at the end, or pepper at the end, but don't go crazy and over season these until you're able to taste them after they've cooked completely, and then you can adjust the seasoning a little bit. Probably going to take 3 hours or so for these beans to cook completely. You want it just to where the moisture is almost completely out of them, but there's still a little bit left, and they're going to be so delicious. So let's let those cook a minute. Our green beans have been cooking about 3 hours or so, and you see they've cooked down, and there's barely any juice. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and turn them off. Remember, we just simmered these. We did not boil these. We brought them to a boil. Then we reduced it down to a simmer where we just had bubbles up around the edge. We're going to take this bacon out and do one more step with it. And I stole this little device from my house, and I hope my wife doesn't watch this video. But this is one of those little things you cook bacon in the microwave with. So we're going to take that bacon out of there. And it is hot, so be careful with it. I'm going to just stick it on here, nothing fancy, just something to put it over here. There we go. It's out of the microwave. It's kind of crisp up a little bit. And I'm going to put it over here, and we're going to take a knife and chop it up into smaller pieces. See how there's very little fat left on that, actually? what's on there, I'll just dump right in there. Set that aside. Now let's get our chef's knife and see if we can cut it into smaller pieces here. And all that goodness is going to go right back into the pot. And folks, there you have it, the most remarkable canned green beans you'll ever eat in your life. I guarantee it. I want you to watch this video, try this, and send me your recipe, or tell me how you did it, how you liked it. Thanks for watching today. I'm John Woods with All Things Food. And remember, we not only love to cook here, but we cook to love. See you next time.